now we got 4 offices, we're 200 people, we got 25 clients, like we're established.
Yeah.
It's good. But earlier days, there was like 2 or 3 times when like we almost completely went out of business, and we needed that one thing, that one job to like pull through last minute for us to keep going. And somehow it worked out. So we got lucky.
I'm sort of, for my agency, we specialize in social and influence, and particularly like a sub-specialization in TikTok. I reckon we've just gotten past that phase as an agency where you're going from one meal to another, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
It was interesting looking at your background. I mean, you obviously studied economics, and then you sort of, your story gives me a bit of hope because you're the client, you're the client management, new business guy, which is what I am. But you become an early stage founder. You know, you're obviously a natural born salesman. And so I look back at that and I go, oh shit, okay, you can do that. You don't have to be some wild creative to be successful in this business. You need both, and it's still, whatever business you're running, you got to have business minded people to run it. Yeah. You need that partnership. So, quick background, I knew I wanted to go into advertising. I did study economics, but that was really to make my parents happy. And then as soon as I got out of school, I started working at agencies, in LA and eventually San Francisco, where we founded the agency. But I would always look at these different agencies, and I knew was entrepreneurial. I wanted to start something eventually. But I would take what I saw from the leaders as good and bad and sort of keep track and, take notes and what I would bring to a company that I had eventually. And so it was really a great training ground. But before Mechanism, I started a company by myself, and it was a production company. We were doing like branded content. We were doing like TV, which is kind of interesting, my background, because I like the ads in between the shows. This was pitching brands to do TV shows where the media company, the media platform, would then sell ads against the TV shows, but the brand would pay to make the TV shows. So we did one with Adidas and Xbox, and but I started that company first, and it was just me. Right, so that was Plan C.
Yeah, that was Plan C, and it was just me doing hiring the producers and directors and doing the invoicing and the pitching. Like it was really just me. I had a little bit of help with a friend of mine in Atlanta, but I burned out on that gig pretty quickly, like a year and a half. I don't know if you ever did anything on your own, but
it's hard.
It's really challenging, but you kind of want to, because you have that hard work gene. You're like, no, I can do it. Like I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna start it my own. And then with Mechanism, having other partners, it's just so much more rewarding to do it with other people. Yeah. And if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I think that statement's so true. Yeah. Because you just can't sustain it when you do things. I mean, maybe some people can, but I wasn't wired that way.
Yeah, you end up blowing a gasket pretty much.
You really do. Yeah. You just
like I said, that hard-working ethos that you have, it also means that you can't recognize when you're about to blow a gasket. So it's only when you finally blow the gasket that you realize that it was too far.
The gasket has been blown.
The gasket has been blown. It's interesting you mentioned about the economics thing, and like my dad, Greek families, like you've got to do a profession. So I did accounting and finance at uni. And like, I think I lasted a couple of years until I sort of got back into sort of the media space.
Did you work in that field after?
Yeah. So I was like, I studied bank and finance, did an accounting internship, fucking hated it, went into sort of the trading desk space, loved that, like loved the environment, the sales environment, but it was so intense. It never ever stopped because markets never stop. Like I could be up at 6 a.m. and up until 1 a.m. because the US Open was happening. So it was not tenable. And then I got into sort of sales, selling services to those people. And then I realized, because my now wife and co-founder of the business was working at PwC and a few independents like Taboo Group. She was a creative director. And we started this podcast and we were just like, maybe we should start selling these services to people. And it sort of just spun out from that.
And that's how it started?
That's how it started, yeah. So, like what you were saying before about having someone to work with, I could not do what I do without her and vice versa.
That's amazing.
It's just not possible.
It's amazing that you guys can work together.
I know. That's a lot of people say that.
And you guys specialize, you do a lot with TikTok, right?
Yeah, a lot of TikTok. I mean, that's how I found Brendan. Brendan and I were chatting over TikTok.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like TikTok here is fairly nascent like it is in the US, but it's social and influence, but TikTok is I just want to be known as the TikTok guy over the next couple of years.
Well, that's going to serve you well.
Yeah.
Because it's gaining ground on everything.
Oh yeah, it's quite nuts to see like campaign returns. And so that's like, you were saying before about just having that thing, like that Dimitri Martin campaign is like, you just needed it to keep things going. I feel like we've just gotten through that stage over the last couple of months that thing has been TikTok. Because without that, I don't know what, there's so many areas that you can specialize in. I don't know what would have made us different otherwise. It's a hard field to define yourself. You know what I
mean? Totally. But having that expertise, everyone needs it.